Welcome to another exercise with in the Natural Phonics Primer, Universal Safety Net for Literacy with Don Potter. Glad to be teaching this lesson. This is a very interesting lesson. It's going to help you to read many, many words, take you to a whole new level in your ability to read and your ability to spell. Remember, spelling and reading go together. We're going to go a little quicker on this one because there's more words. And we don't want our videos to be too awful long. So we have at the top of the page, notice these consonants. There's two of them together. So these are called consonant blends. Some people call them consonant combinations. It's two consonants that come together, but they each keep their sound. So this is one more sound we have to think about when we read these words, which could make them a little bit harder and take a little bit more practice. So you're going to want to listen to this, watch this video maybe 2 or 3 times before you start doing your timings. And then they should start coming faster and faster and faster. Again, we're going to go a little bit quick on these, and I'm not going to be sounding the words out quite like we did with the previous lessons. And as we go through the program, we'll kind of start reducing some of that as we go along. We have the first is C and a T, so you can hear the sounds k and the sound t. And when you put them together, it's something like this, really fast. So the first word we have is F-A-C-T, fact. It is a fact that phonics is the best way to teach reading. Now, remember, it's important not only to be able to read these words, but to be able to spell the words. And so you want to be able to hear the word fact and then stop and say F-A-C-T or to write it. Next, we have F-T, as in the word gift. Can you hear that at the end? Gift. A gift for Christmas. And sift, like sifting flour. LB is ulb, as in the word bulb. And I'm here to tell you a lot of my students tend to take this L and put it in front of the U, and they come up with blub. It's not blub, it's bulb. So you're going to have to practice this. Make sure you're looking at each letter in the proper order, and don't try and move that L after the B. There's a lot of words like the word black and blend where you have a B and an L, and that may be the reason why students tend to get that wrong. LF is ulf, as in elf. Santa has an elf. And the word self. I can do it myself. LK, ulk. Now we have bulk. When you buy a lot of things at one time to save money. We have milk. We like to drink milk for the calcium and other good things in it. Silk, which is a real thin fabric. And sulk. And I hope you don't do that. Sulk is when somebody gets upset and won't talk to you. Again, the word bulk, students tend to say bluck, moving that L over after the B. So remember, it's bulk. And the same thing, well, sulk. LM, we have ulm, as in the word film. I saw a good film. LP, ulp, as in the word gulp. Don't gulp your food. And students tend to put that L over there and come up with a non-word, glup. It's not glup, it's gulp. Be careful there. Next is help. Can you hear the ulp at the end? Help. Phonics is a help to learning to read. LT, ult, as in the word belt. So keep your pants up, belt. And felt, it felt good to make 100 on my spelling test last week. MP, as in the word bump. they hit a bump in their car. Camp, we like to camp out. Damp, the wash rag was damp, it was wet. Dump your food that you don't eat, your food you couldn't eat. Dump. Hump, as a camel has a hump, or maybe two. Jump, can you jump high? Pump, a pump that you would use to pump up a tire on your bicycle. ND, listen carefully. N, d, and, as in the word and, used to connect words, the boy and the girl, and. Next is band. I like to play in the band. Bend, bend over, or can you bend and pick up the pencil? Bond, when you glue stuff together, they bond, like when you use your glue, Elmer's glue. And, the end of the day. Fond, and this is like I'm fond of dark chocolate, for example. And be very, very careful, because students tend to put a U in there and come up with the word found. And the reason is because it's not, you can see the word found and the word fond have the same shape. So if you were taught sight words, you might miss that. Hopefully you weren't taught any sight words. Or high-frequency words with pure memorization. We actually want all words to become sight words. They're called brain words. But we don't want to memorize them just as words. We want to be sure we can spell them. Pond, go swimming in the pond. And some people see that and they will say pound. So it's not pound, it's pond. Next is sand. Sand. Kids like to play in the sand. Send. Send me a letter. Now we're going to do the NT. Listen carefully. Nt. So we have the word bent. Can you hear all those sounds? Bent. He bent over. And then we have tent. They camped out in a tent. And went. They went to school early. PT, we have and the word is wept. A very tricky word to get all those sounds. Let's try it together. Wept. And this is another word for cry. SK, sk, as in the word ask. Can you hear all those sounds? Ask. Desk. I have a walnut desk in my office, very beautiful. And then we have dusk. And I hope you watch those D's, because the D starts with a circle. So you got desk and you have dusk. If you read those with a B, you would have besk and busk. There are no such words. So watch those B's and D's, and I'm sure you'll do good. Just remember that D starts with a circle, and you form a circle with your mouth. ST, our last blend is st, S-T, st, st, st. Let's do the words. Best. You're going to be the best reader. Fast. With your timings, as you approach your minimum calibrated speed, you're going to be reading faster and faster. Fist, make a fist with your hand. Must, you must learn to read good to do well in school. Nest, the birds build a pretty nest. Pest. A mouse running around in your house is a pest. Next, rest. Maybe when you finish this lesson, you'd like to take a little rest. Next is rust. Again, listen for all those sounds. Rust. The bike chain will rust if you don't put oil on it. Next, test. Take a test. Vest. He wore a nice vest. West. Go west, young man. Go west. And finally, we have zest. Zest is another word for enthusiasm, to be excited, to have a lot of zest. Okay, good luck on exercise 13 here. Go over these as many times as you can. Make sure that you can read them. And then you can get your timer and start timing yourself on these words until you get to your minimum speed. And as you each day work a little bit with this, you'll be able to get your speed up. And as your speed gets up, you'll find yourself being a much better reader and a much better speller. Make sure you can read these words and spell all of these words. It's very good to practice writing them. So we'll see you next time.